Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Rickey Gates before 2013 Ultra Race at Champions. How you doing, Rickey?
Doing great.
Seen you a bunch of places this summer, but where have you you raced the Golden Leaf half marathon just recently, and you won that.
Yep. 5th time running it. First time getting first. I came in 2nd place in that race 4 times, and it's a race that I go way back with. I was in high school. I went to Aspen High School, and it's a race that we used to volunteer. The entire team would volunteer to pass out water along the course. And so when I was 13, 14 years old, I was passing out water in that course, and just always amazed at how fast people could still be running after 12 miles or 13 miles, and lo and behold, almost 20 years later, actually running the same course and running it well. And so it was a fun race in front of my home crowd and my family and some friends, and so it was a lot of fun.
Felt satisfying, I bet.
It was very satisfying. Yeah, I can go back to the race now and not be so stressed about showing people what I can do.
Was it your first win? Or it was your first win, but was it your fastest time there?
I believe it was, yeah. It's not I didn't run any sort of course record on it. The winner from last year didn't show up, which ended up working out. He would have been, his last year's time was about 1.5 minutes faster. So not a blazing fast time, but fast enough to win it. So
fast enough. So you ran fast there. Earlier last week, you ran the 4 passes loop. Fast.
Yeah. The 4 pass loop. I had the FKT on that last year. Tony Krupichka had it before that, and then Sage broke my record about a month ago, and that's another course that's it's in my backyard, and I wanted to get it back, and so I went out there on actually a day much worse than this. There was lightning and snow and rain and wind and pretty much all of the conditions that you want or don't want for an epic run. Epic conditions.
Epic run, yes, but for a fast run, no.
Right. And so, I gave it my all. I was checking my splits the entire time. On the last of the 4 passes, I looked at Sage's split, and I thought I was 4 minutes ahead of his time. And as it turned out, I misread the split, and I was 4 minutes behind his time. And then I got to one more split and realized I was actually 4 minutes behind, and then in the 1.5 miles back to the parking lot, I made up 2 minutes, but it wasn't enough, so I came up 2 minutes shy of his time.
Not to jump ahead of the race this weekend, but any thoughts of maybe giving that another go this season?
Oh yeah, not this season. Not this season. No, that'll be next summer. But yeah, that one's. That's more near and dear to me than any other FKT out there, just because it's in my backyard, and it's, in my opinion, one of the most iconic trail runs in the country. It's really spectacular.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah, it's something else, and it's cool seeing all the people. I mean, even as recently as 5 years ago, you could go out there and it would only be hikers and backpackers, and even on a god-awful day like I had last week, it was me and Ryan Gelfie running, and there was a few other people out there running it, and it's just cool to see, these runs that are typically 2, 3, 5, whatever day-long backpacking trips. People are doing them in a day, and it's cool to see that.
Nice. This weekend, you're sort of again racing your back, right? It's not Aspen, it's Vail and Breck, but have you spent much time doing races over here, or just running the trails through your life?
Yeah. So I've run a lot of the trails during races. It shares some of the trails with Trans Rockies, the Vail Tiva Games, and maybe another race that I've done over here. But yeah, we're only 2 hours away from my home, so I've seen a lot of the course just with races, and then I came out about 2.5 weeks ago and ran some of the first 13 miles, just to kind of get a feel for the course a little bit more.
You looking forward to running trails that you've raced on before? Does it give you advantage or feel of being at home, or is it kind of
I don't know that it does or not. I mean, it certainly, yeah. With this competition that we're running against on Saturday, I don't think it does. It maybe gives me a little more confidence, but beyond that, it's there's such strong people in this field that the thing that I need to focus on is running my own race, which I've had a hard time doing in these longer races. And so that's my main goal on Saturday, is to just stick with my plan of running my own race and not getting caught up with the pace at the beginning of the race.
Is that perhaps why? I mean, I think your best ultra performance was your first one, the Canadian Death Race, which was a solo effort. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it was. I mean, I took the lead, so that one's about 80 miles. I took the lead at about 15 miles and held it the entire time, and so yeah, that was entirely my own race. And I think you're 100% correct, is that I wasn't getting freaked out about someone being 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes ahead of me. You just pay attention to how you're feeling and stick with that.
How do you think you might be able to temper yourself, with all this great competition around you tomorrow?
That's a good question, and I mean, I don't know like a specific time, but just not being worried about a 10 or 15 minute lead on the leaders, only 15 miles into the race, and being okay with that. It's not an ultra race, but Sierra Zinal this year, I was in 13th or 14th place about 6 miles into the race when who ended up winning, Mark Lowenstein, is that?
Sounds right.
Lowenstein went by me, and so that he was, an hour into a 2-hour race, and he was in 13th place and went on to win the race. And that's always how I grew up running. I've never really been much of a front runner, and so just reminding myself that that's the race that I need to run. It's not everybody's race, but that's my race. So
yeah, you, I don't know what you say about reputation. I think you kind of do like to wander the world and travel and explore. But coming home to run, does it sort of connect you with your past and your roots?
Yeah, absolutely. So this past week, I mean, obviously with the Golden Leaf, that's I've gone way back with that, and then got out to run with the Aspen High School cross country team, and ran one of the trails that we've been running for. I know the team's been running for 30 years, and I was running with them, 20. Coming up on 20 years ago, my freshman year of high school. I love every place that I've run in the world. I mean, the Alps are spectacular, and Antarctica and Alaska. All of these places are spectacular. But when you can run on a trail that you've been running on for 20 years, there's just nothing that compares to that. And I hope that other people are able to kind of get that same connection to their own trails.
Whether it's in the spectacular mountains or it could be anywhere. I know when I go home to New Jersey, they're on some flat trails in the state park.
Yeah,
it's some of my favorite trails in the world.
Totally. Yeah. And so I mean, I go back, and the Hunter Creek Trail right outside of Aspen. You can start in downtown Aspen and go run, as much as you want, 5 miles or 50 miles on trails, and I've been doing them for 20 years, and it never gets old. So
well, have a great race out there, Ricky.
Thanks a lot. Yeah,
appreciate you taking the time in the little snow.
Perfect conditions.
And one quick bonus question for you. One race you ran this summer was Mount Marathon.
Oh yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that up in Alaska.
So that, I mean, speaking of historic races, that's obviously a historic race. It's unofficially been going on since 1907, officially since 1915. My mom ran that race in 1969. She'll be out here tomorrow. And so I think people started to become on the bigger radar in the past few years. especially last year with the tragedy of runner going missing and not found, and a couple others. But it's a race that, you know, I grew up with a newspaper clipping of my mom's race from 1969, and you know, her description of it it sounded crazy, and you know, I just thought that was my mom embellishing, and but I've wanted to run it for a while, and you know, it's not the easiest race to get to, and I made it even more difficult by riding my motorcycle up there, but it was absolutely everything that I had hoped for in a race. In my opinion, it's really the one and only mountain race, like true mountain race, that I've run in the States. There's not a specific set course for the entire thing. You're going straight up a mountain, straight back down. It's dangerous, and people are totally passionate about it, and it was the most exciting race that I've run. So
Sounds like your mom wasn't embellishing.
she wasn't embellishing. Yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah, it was really exciting. I'm hoping to get back there. I'm hoping to bring some fast people with me. And that doesn't say anything poorly against the racers, the quality of racers that are up there. That's one thing that I was not sure about, and I was pleasantly surprised at the caliber of athletes up there.
You were second?
I came in second in that race, and there was, you know, it was a stacked field, and pretty much only Alaskans, I think, yeah, in the top 10. So it was really exciting.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.